you speak in African American vernacular?
Yeah,
Why?
because that's how I was raised, and I don't think African American vernacular and is different from anything else. It's just
Yeah,
a
I use
language culture.
but not the word bitch. I think it downgrades the black female community.
I do not speak African American vernacular. I speak American Standard English, and that's what I want to talk. In fact, that's how I talk. There's no label on it.
Language to be called African American vernacular, because when I speak, it should not be called something negative. It should not be given a specific name. If someone else that was not black were to speak, they would not call it African American vernacular. So my native tongue should not be called that.
Code switching, I think, is being able to change up. What's the word that I'm looking for? Your demeanor based off of the situation. So, like, for instance, like, I wouldn't act the same way at work that I do in my personal life.
Code switching is necessary.
No, I don't feel like code switching is not necessary, because you should be who you are at all times. I don't see the difference between, oh, I should be this person this day and this person the next.
Take note of it or not, they code switch. And it is for survival, because this world is really, it wasn't built for us. And we just live on it, so therefore it's a survival technique to live in this world, because this, you know, like I said, this world wasn't built for us. So it is a survival technique, and whether we realize it or not, I just said this, we do code switch amongst people. Like, if I go to work and I work in New York at a, like the Wall Street, and it's only me and another black female that's there, I can talk to her how I talk to her, but everybody else, I'm not going to talk to them like that, because maybe she'll understand, maybe she don't.
Yeah, because
but
it's personal,
it's
right?
personal, right? So I feel like it's really situational.
That code switching is a need to survive for a black woman, especially in today's society. It is necessary. We have scenes where we may be encountering someone we do not know, or a stranger, and in order to seem as though we are not a threat, we may have to. So I feel like it's necessary to survive. So
And which situations are you most likely to code switch?
When I was a little girl, specifically, I would have to cross the tracks in Arkansas to get from the black side of the community to the white side, or vice versa. In those scenes where sometimes a white person may look at me a little funny, I would have to straighten my backbone, put my head down, eyes forward, and just run and walk briskly. Versus being in my own community, where I would just be able to walk normally without hesitation, without fear of someone picking me up and taking me. That would probably be the most specific time where I could find.
Oh yes, code switching I have to do all the time, right? Because I have to code switch with you also, you'll think I'm cool. So I have to say deuces and things like that, right? When I go to my colleagues and I'm with other college presidents, then I have to talk about the issues of higher education, and I have to do it in a general sense so that they won't think that I'm just focused on HBCUs. And then of course when I get with my brothers and sister presidents from HBCUs, I make sure they know that I know that we all have to stick together, you know, as a
situational. You gotta code switch in different situations. Like right now I'm on the campus, so I'm not gonna talk how I would talk to my sister. I'm not gonna say, yeah girl, I'm gonna say, yeah, I feel as though, or I feel like, or this situation makes me feel, you know.
None. I do not code switch. I'm going to be who I'm going to be who I am 100% of the time. There's no need to act black this way or white another way. It's no such thing.
Or do you talk black?
I don't speak in a color. I don't, honestly, Christian. I speak English just like any other normal person. I speak in the language of love, the language of poetry, the language of creativity, and I speak something that should be universal. My poetry speaks to millions around the world. It should not feel as though because I may, you know, dismiss an ing at the end of my words means I talk black. nobody else would say that. So I feel like I just speak my mind.
I think I talk like me. I have to talk like you. Yeah. It switches depending on who I'm with.
Okay, so that's what code
I
switch is.
talk
American Standard English. There's no such thing as talking black or talking white. We all learn in school to speak one language.
Are you bossy or are you the boss?
I define myself as the boss. I run everything. I find myself that I am on top. I define me as a queen, so I am the boss.
A boss. Why a boss?
Because I run the organization, which means I have to be sensitive to the rules and regulations and the policies that I set.
Awesome. Compared to bossy. What does bossy mean to you?
Bossy means that I push people around because I do have the authority to do that. And when you're bossy, the objective really is about getting what you want. When you're the boss, it's about achieving the objective of the organization.
I like that.
What? No, wait, a boss or a bitch?
She's the bitch.
Or are you a boss? Are you a boss or you bossy?
So I think that. So wait, so it's bitch only for women and it's boss only for men?
That's for you to determine.
I don't think that's an accurate question because why are women defined as a bitch instead of a boss? That's
Why do you think?
misogynistic.
It's misogynistic.
It's very misogynistic.
So society as a whole is misogynistic.
Yes.
So would you rather be called a boss or bossy?
See, bossy has a negative feminine connotation. So can I just be Arabia? And can it just be a quality of me instead of bossy?
To be a boss? Would you rather be a boss then?
Can I just be like the person in charge?
No, it's either boss or bossy.
Okay, I take boss.
Why boss?
I don't know, because bossy doesn't sound negative.
I think that I am the boss.
Now this is going to be a little harsh. Are you a boss or a bitch?
I do not define myself as being a bitch. I feel like that's just harsh. More like disrespectful to a woman. But I will define myself as being a boss because I owe that to myself. I feel like that's more appropriate to say to a woman that I am a boss than rather than I am the
I would
bitch.
consider myself a boss. I would never consider myself a bitch because I don't, well, the proper noun or the proper definition for a bitch is a female dog, and I would never consider myself a dog because I'm human. So I would consider myself a boss, most
So
definitely.
when you hear it, like, you know, in common conversation amongst the friends, like, oh, bitch, we got to turn it up. How do you feel about that?
I have mixed feelings because my friends and my friend circle, we don't ever consider one another bitch. Like, we don't ever say, oh bitch, oh bitch. We usually say, oh girl, or like, it's never the bitch one.
because I just came from work.
So why aren't you a bitch?
Because that's kind of derogatory. I just don't like being called a female dog. That doesn't sit well with me.
Okay. So if somebody were to call you a bitch based off of you being a boss, how would it sit with you?
It depends who it comes from. Actually, no, I still wouldn't be okay with that. I would look at that person like, are you crazy?
Okay, so coming from a guy.
I would slap him.
Okay. Coming from your friends, like, oh, bitch, let's go party. How was that?
I'd look at her like, no.
Really?
Yeah.
I am neither. Because, well, I am the boss in certain situations, but I don't consider myself being a bitch. Like, no, I don't consider that's a very negative word, and I don't feel like that's just no.
At the age that I am, I can recall being called a bitch so many times by so many people. And I would rather refrain from being called that anymore. So I would definitely call myself a boss. I feel like I take care of business like a boss. So why would I want to call myself a bitch? I'm not a dog. I don't bark. I don't bark, Christian. So there's no need for me to be called a bitch. I'd rather just take my title as a boss, who I am. I run, companies. I have my own name, my own brand. I'd rather be a boss.
Do you think you should bury the B word?
I believe the B word is what you make it. If you believe the B word is negative, then it's negative. If you believe it's positive, then it's positive. I mean, I don't think that we should go around calling each other, hey bitch, that's not cool. But I mean, if that's what you want to do, you want to go around acting foolish, then that's on you.
I do think we could bury that word. But it, just take it out of your vocabulary. Like, I don't know. I would take it out of my vocabulary. It's not really in my vocabulary. Am I supposed to be looking at the camera? Or you? Okay. Okay.
Well, you know, it's just like when my generation was coming through and the N-word was very popular. And we used to banter it around. But then Dick Gregory made us realize that that is not a term that we can even appropriate. Because that's what we call it, when you try to appropriate something negative and turn it into a positive. Because the history of it is so deep and so ingrained in our culture that it's hard. You can't code switch a bad word, like the N-word or the B word. And Maya Angelou probably told us the best, right? She didn't allow that word to be spoken in her presence, because she said the very essence of the word gets into the carpet and then the fibers and then the air, and so it becomes depressing and debilitating and negative to all who have to breathe it in.
Absolutely.
So there's certain words that I don't think we'll ever be able to appropriate. For us as women, the B word is one of them. For us as African Americans, the N word is the other.
Yes, because today's youth and generation has created the word bitch to be something that it's not, and it's not a cute word. Women get called a bitch many of times when driving or by men and women, and I do not call any of my friends, oh well, hey bitch. I find that very disrespectful and not a character.
One last question. Do you believe it's not what you are called, it is what you are to answer to?
See, there's a little bit of me that wants to say yes and no. Because being called something can really, really hurt someone, you know? And it can really play on your idea of what you are and who you are. But if you are able to recognize what you call yourself and what name you call yourself and who you recognize yourself as, then you should be okay. You should, but society will sometimes, bear you down and just, kick you like you're down, and it may hurt and it may make you weak at times, but you just have to continue to understand who you are and press forth your own identity and just claim it. And I feel like you should be okay for that.
Okay. Thank you, Maya.
Absolutely.
I'm Christian Whitaker. I'm signing off.
I totally believe that, because if you answer to a crazy name, then that's who you're going to be labeled as a crazy person. If you want to answer to these crazy things,